E-activist. How can carriers sign up or help?
Simple. Well, e-activist is nothing but an email. And the only person that can send an email is the president of the NALC. It was Bill Young, now it's Fred Rolando. And to go on to NALC.org, you can click on the legislative icon there and sign up for e-activist. And what it is just an email that President Rolando now has access to send letter carrier messages. And in the 8 years that e-activist has been around, probably about 8 messages have gone out. That's all. And it's just to the member. You're not spammed. Email addresses are never released. I don't even have access to the email addresses. Only the president does. And some state issues that pop up, like one in Missouri, a couple in the Pacific area that had do not mail legislation pending, emails were sent out saying contact your congressman and senator, sincerely Fred Rolando. And it's been very, very effective. It's the easiest thing a letter carrier can do to help themselves to get instant messaging from the president in an emergency. And that's all it's used for, is very vital, important issues. E-activist was used to help enact the Postal Employee Enhancement Act, which greatly benefited the company and letter carriers' benefits and entitlements. So all you got to do is go on NALC.org.
So please check out NALC.org. If we can talk about the Customer Connect, I want to read a quote from the Postal Record, September '09. Since the startup in mid-2003, letter carriers have generated more than $746 million in new annual revenue. What are we doing to help the Postal Service in these financial times, aside from what I just mentioned?
Well, it's almost easier to ask, what aren't we doing in these financial times? NALC, first of all, we went from the old, expensive, cumbersome grievance procedure to the dispute resolution process, experimented in '98, making it full-time in 2001, which saves hundreds of millions for the USPS. Secondly, we got involved with them on legislative issues. Mainly, we carried the workload on legislative issues and enacted the Postal Employee Enhancement Act. And it was the NALC's muscle that got that passed. So we got relief and some issues taken care of with that. Third, we're involved with them in Customer Connect, which basically letter carriers like yourselves been turned into salesmen. The USPS got out of the parcel industry when first-class mail was just booming. We would have 8–10% increases a year. Now with electronic diversion of first-class mail, normally bills and returned bills going away to electronic conversion, and younger kids get involved and they don't use paper, they use electronic, the Postal Service needed some revenue sources. So we partnered with them at the national and local level that we would teach carriers about Customer Connect. Basically, it's hooking up American public with the USPS parcel industry. It's incredibly cheap, and UPS and FedEx do a great job at advertising. The Postal Service cannot advertise the price of a product, and that's due to legislation, believe it or not. We'd like to get turned, but there's a lot of competition out there that wants it the way it currently is, so we can't advertise we're cheaper, and we are. Every time we get an invoice from someone that mails, someone that ships parcels, every time we get their invoice, you can take the USPS cost sheet, compare them, and we're always cheaper in all categories of parcels. But UPS gets to advertise, FedEx gets to advertise, DHL did advertise, they're out of business now in the United States. So it's a sales force. Now we have 200,000 letter carriers out there looking for parcels, and the number you generated is what we've generated so far. That close to $1 billion goes right in the Postal Service's coffer, pays our benefits, pays our wages, and we're more friendly to the American public than ever. and a lot more friendly than the other companies that charge pickup fees at residents. If you have someone that works out of their home, ships whatever, eBay, whatever they want to ship, we pick it up for free and we're there every day. All you have to do is go on USPS.com and you can buy your postage online and just slap it on the parcel, tape it down, and it's good to go. You don't have to go to the post office. You don't have to wait in line. We'll come to you for free with no pickup fees. So it's a great service. It's good for America. It's good for the Postal Service. And it's a lot more friendly for the public to utilize. So it's a sales program is what it is. And besides Customer Connect, we also entered in agreements with the agency for what we call the MIRAP, the Minor Route Adjustment Program. And we jointly are participating. We're looking at the data at a district level jointly. And then we go out in the field and we jointly adjust routes without a cumbersome 6-day count inspection where you live and die on the week and everybody's accusing everybody of either slowing down or hiding mail. And now we just look at the data over an extended period of time, what you do, what your office time is, what your street time is. We adjust the route to 8 hours, and because the volume is fluctuating so much, it was down all last year, it's coming back this quarter. So we're going to look at the data, and routes that we took out might be added back in, routes that were added to might be cut, but it's all data driven, and it's saving the Postal Service, according to the Postmaster General, $1.4 billion. And of course, we're going to be asking for that come collective bargaining time.
Okay.